Hello, gentlemen and beautiful ladies. Alright guys, today we're just going to whip up something really easy. I'm going to call it Chinese food. It might be like Mugu Gai Pan or something like that. But I'm not following their recipe. I got my own. It's real easy to follow. And I'm basically just cleaning out the freezer, or refrigerator I should say. Let me show you what we're going to make. Of course it's pork, you know, because this is a hog's own. You like it? Always like pork. The only problem is I'm using pork loin that I just sliced very thin. And the problem with pork loins is they don't have much fat on them. So the flavor's just not there, you know. So you can use any type of pork. Personally, if I had my choice, I'd find something with a lot of marbling in it and use that. Because that fat is flavor, and that's just how I roll. That's why I hate chicken breasts. Don't get me on chicken breast. I got some type of weird phobia about chicken breast now. It's getting bad. So anyway, let me show you what the ingredients are and we'll roll through this. It's not that big a deal. Make some rice. I'm not going to show you how to make rice, but just make some rice. And it's going to be a soupy mixture that's thick. It's kind of like gravy with all the vegetables in it. And it'll look like, I don't know what the dish is actually, but you'll see. It looks good, tastes good. You're there. Let me explain this real quick. Okay, you want a couple of chicken bouillon cubes. Of course, you want some pork. Probably about a cup of pork sliced very thin in almost to bite-sized pieces because we're going to boil that with some ginger. Now the deal is with ginger, you can peel off this outer skin and it will make it a little more mild. But if you just leave the skin on, it's got a pretty good bite, which I'm all about the bite, so I'm leaving it on. I'm just going to slice it thin. And we're going to boil that in water. Next thing you're going to do is to get some bok choy. I got some Napa cabbage. I got some snow peas. I got some mushrooms. And of course some green onions. Got to throw those in there. Some chives. And like I said, it's going to be like a white gravy. Not a white gravy, but it's going to be just a chicken gravy looking, with all these vegetables in it and the pork, and it's going to taste great. And the way to get to the gravy is add some cornstarch to water, and then after the pork has boiled for a while, not very long, you just pour that in and that will thicken the sauce. That's the word I'm thinking. Now I'm going to add a couple of shots of 5 spice. If you don't have 5 spice, you don't need it, but I'm just adding it in there for an extra zing. And with the bok choy and stuff like that, you can use different vegetables. You know, like I said, these recipes all are the same. You can it doesn't matter. I could just stir fry this in soy sauce, throw all that in, and just stir fry it all, and it'd be awesome too. And then just make dark gravy with soy sauce, and you can give it some fancy weird name. The other thing is, like a lot of times with this cabbage and stuff, for presentation, cut it either like in straws, or you know, just don't chop it up in big chunks. You know, make it look good. You know, make it look fancy, and that's half the deal. Is, you know, faking out the people are going to be eating it. Of course, I'm eating it. I know what I'm doing. I can't fake myself out, but I am going to cut it so it looks presentable, as they say. But hell, you can buy these Napa cabbages for nothing. I think it's like $2 for. They're nothing. Same thing with the bok choy, and it's all good for you. You know, if you're watching your girlish figure. All right, let's cut this stuff up. Get this stuff going. First thing I'm gonna do is cut up this ginger. And if you want to get real fancy, you can do one of these numbers, and then the ginger looks like little straws in there. It just helps on the presentation. But I'm not doing it with every, because I really love ginger, so I like the big pieces. Okay, threw that in there. Chicken bouillon and our pork. Like I said, this came off of a pork loin. You know, I buy them at Sam's, the big old long ones. I cut those into pork chops, but I cut them into little itty bitty pieces of meat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this boiling, then I'm going to drop in the gravy mix. This is real easy, just add some cornstarch to water. Okay, I'm going to be a lot more careful cutting these green onions because that last video I cut the end of my thumb off. I left the gory details out of that video. I'm sure you guys probably want to see it. Nobody screamed World Star though, so it takes out the effect. Rinse off your mushrooms. A lot of times they got a bunch of dirt on them. If you're cooking for your buddies, don't worry about it. They're nasty anyway. They won't mind. Okay. Snow peas, mushrooms, green onions. Perfect. Now we're going to do the bok choy. Now here's what I'm talking about. You got your bok choy leaf here, or stem. Most of the time you go to the restaurant, they're going to give you a bite-sized piece like that because it's quicker, faster for them to cook. I like sometimes to do this right here. You know, cut it at length. This stuff here, the leaf, is going to kind of collapse, so it's not a big deal. But if you got a whole bunch of sticks, you can see the presentation's a little different, better, whatever. I think I'm getting above my pay grade. And I don't mind, like I said, or you can do this number, like celery. I don't like that. That's just not cool. So I'm just going to mix and match. Like I said, these just kind of melt, turn into a big glob. So it's not too important. Alright, cool. That's the bok choy. Done. That's boiling. If I could figure out how to open the Ziploc bag, would be good. And here's all the pork. So it's ginger, pork, and chicken bouillon cubes. It only takes a second. Because these are so thin, see how it's already almost cooked right there. We're going to bring it to a boil and turn it off. Napa cabbage. Same thing. I'm going to cut the ends off, leave them big. Going to cut these into like strips. It just gives it a little flair. Okay guys, it's obviously to a boil. Took roughly about 2 minutes. So then we're going to add the cornstarch and water, and we'll bring it back to a boil, and that'll start to thicken. And you can see how this thickened up. It's pretty obvious that it's thickened up. So I'm going to add a little 5 spice. Just a little bit. It's going to give it a little zing. Like I said, you do not need to use this, especially if you don't like it. We're going to turn this off, and since I don't plan too well, this is just a 2-quart pot. I didn't think I was going to need that much, but I overdid it. So what I'm going to do is put the mushrooms, onions, a bunch of these snow peas in here, and I'm going to pour this into that. I think this is a little bit bigger. At least I'm hoping it's bigger. So let's see what happens. Just enough bigger. And believe it or not, this stuff will fit. I probably should have used a 4-quart pot. But you know, gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, it's a little bit overloaded, but as soon as the cabbage and the bok choy kind of melts down a little bit, we'll be in good shape. That's starting to boil, so at this point, just give it a little shot of liquid salt. Kiko man, that's it. That is done. You just put a thing of rice on your plate or bowl and get your big old spoonful of this, and you're done. One last thing. This thing looks pretty bland, doesn't it? Oh. 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 Oh boy. Oh boy, that just took it to another level, didn't it? Now I'm on Instagram. Lots of food pictures, lots of stupid pictures. So check it out, the Hog Zone on Instagram. Facebook really likes to mess with me. I'm on Facebook too. Just type in the Hog Zone. One of my pages will show up. I think I'm going to call this Pork Delight, because that actually looks pretty darn tasty. Okay, let's cover it up. Finished. Okay, remember when I said presentation? Make sure you get one of these. Yeah. Chinese relics. This is from the Big Lai dynasty of 4,500 years ago. Not bad. Let me dress it up a bit. See that? Put a little bit of rice in there. And that's Pork Delight. I only had a little bit of rice left, sorry. Couldn't put a big bowl, you know, like an ice cream scoop in there. But that's it. Add a little more soy sauce to your flavor, and that's it. Let's do a taste test. Hey guys, I showed you. It's kind of hard to see. Yeah, you already saw it. You don't care. Right? Alright, first thing I'm going to try is gravy. Perfect. It is perfect. And I'm going to try some of this pork with the rice. But I will tell you, for me, I need to add some more soy sauce or add some more chicken bouillon because I'm a salt fiend. So probably put more salt in there, maybe some MSG. In fact, hang on. Yeah, MSG power. Let's give it a little sprinkly of that. Mix it around. Now we'll find out. On point right there. All the difference in the world. So get you some accent, some MSG, or use some of my fajita seasoning. That would have been on point. That's it, guys. Pork Delight. I'm gonna call it Pork Mushroom Delight. Gotta give it some kind of fancy name. And I'm gonna go finish my lunch. Appreciate you watching. Hit like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm down here in Houston, so we got the big freeze coming. Everybody's freaking out. You know, we can handle hurricanes, but when it gets below 30, people start freaking out. It's bad. Nobody drives. Everybody's a stay-at-home day for the kids at school. All this type of stuff. But it is a mess down here because we're not prepared. You know, some of those preppers, you know, the city just doesn't prep like Triple T does. You can check out my Triple T videos. I just cracked myself up. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching, and make sure you like and subscribe.